Okay, so I actually started these in September and I had kind of stopped doing garden updates around that time. Just life got in the way, but I've been really happy with this new seedling system. So I started in a little Jiffy cell seed tray with the little circles that you can just pop into a bed, the dirt, or this. So I'll show you guys that the next time I start. But I up-potted them after a while into these styrofoam cups that have sand at the bottom and then these drainage holes, and I don't think I've ever had this much success with seedlings, so I'm definitely going to be doing this every time I am starting seeds now. This is broccoli. I have 4 broccoli. These are bell pepper, and then this parsley looks really, really good. I have another parsley here that isn't doing as well for whatever reason. I also started these cosmos, but we had a lot of rain and these were just out like this, and after the rain the leaves were wet and just got so heavy, and I probably needed to like support them and get them into the ground with the I know some people do like gridded string systems to hold them up, so that's my fault. I did get a few small blooms, but I'm just gonna let these die. I think some are getting new plants like here at the bottom, so maybe I'll do something with those, but I don't know, I kind of got over it, and plus I didn't know where I wanted to put these. Anyway, I didn't know where I wanted to put them, so my fault with that. I have some mostly flowers on this side, and this is tarragon, which I'm not sure what that is on the leaf right here. But for an herb that I started from seed, I mean, it's doing better than any herb I've ever done before. So I'll take it. The other flowers, these are Canterbury bells, which were really, really slow to grow, but now they are actually doing something, which is nice. This is stock lupine, I think, and then these here are all stock. So the stock is doing really well. These have taken a long time. Like I said, I started back in September, like from literal seed in the seed tray, and then maybe in October, November I did the cups. I don't remember exactly when. Chamomile, another one that was slow to go, but now it's doing really well. Yeah, so I will be doing this every single time I start seeds. I'll be starting and planning out my spring seeds coming up. So I'm still not sure. I could probably get these here into the beds, which that'll probably be my next order of business. But anyway, I will take you through step by step how I do it when I do my next little round of seedlings. Alright, so this Bacopa died. They were planted at the same time, and they're supposed to be companion plants, so I got another one because I really liked that combo. So I'm going to put that one in there. And then instead of putting my alyssum in the ground, I'm going to try to put it up here and see if the smell still lingers in a planter. And I'm gonna do the violas again like I had last year, now that the dogs are blocked off by this gate so they can't pee on it. And that's all I'm doing right now. So I'm pretty sure I showed you guys these when they were looking really good. These are bougainvillea. This is a Thai, and this is, I honestly forget. I think just a regular, like the standard hot pink, but they were looking really great, growing, vining. I had them attached to the wall, and then I have something just going to town on these, and I thought they were goners. I kept watering them and fertilizing them, and I am getting some leaves that are undisturbed finally, and some new growth, so I'm just hanging on. Maybe they just needed to get acclimated, I'm not quite sure. And then same for this one. This is starting to look a lot better, so I'm hoping that this continues. So I had pansies here last year and I let these ones die. I have pansies in one of these in another area, but I decided to put alyssum here instead of in my rose bed. Hopefully you'll still be able to smell them and get that sweet alyssum scent. But look at this geranium. I've shown this a few times in mini updates and it's never looked this good. So it just goes to show that, you know, not everything happens as fast as you think it might, and things that look like they were struggling and not going to turn into much, or that you were doing something wrong, end up flourishing. That's the white geranium, and this is a pink one. So this one forever was stunted for the longest time, and it's finally getting a lot bushier. We're getting some more blooms finally, and yeah, I'm hoping that these are just gonna get massive. My strawberry, I had a few really small strawberries come through maybe like a month or two ago, probably like, okay, a little over 2 months. I have all these gnats. I'm gonna spray some neem oil, I guess. But yeah, these aren't even supposed to be ever bearing, which maybe that's normal. That's why they're so small. Maybe in the June summertime that they will, you know, be producing a lot more. I don't know. I have one ever-bearing variety that I'll show you that is actually not producing as much, so I'm not sure what that's about. And here is the pansies that I started last year, and we've got a lot of new plants that have sprung up, which is amazing. They look so cute. There's like such a common and cheap flower that, you know, I think people don't get too excited about all the time, but I really love them. This little combination that I made is doing really well. For the longest time it was just in like a foliage growing cycle, and we've got blooms in the winter, which is really nice. Some more coming in as well. And this, I forget the name. Oh, here, no, that's not it. I forget the name of that one, but this is calancho. So this one's getting a lot bushier. This is what the flowers look like, but it's definitely been focusing on growing the foliage, so excited about that. Maybe I will transplant that at some point so they can get huge, which would be nice. I'm not doing anything in my herb garden, and I don't know that I will anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna get rid of it yet though. So this one I started like late spring. I forget the name as well. It's escaping me right now. But when I initially planted these, I planted Bacopa and this together, and the Bacopa died. So this is a new Bacopa that I put in, and hoping for better results. I'm not sure what I did last time. I know they're companion plants. I think that they are kind of evergreen in a sense. So hoping that it stays looking like this, because I think that's so beautiful. This one, if you remember, it was like a tall, spindly, and very spaced out pink leaf plant. I can't think of the name, but it looks like this right now. I don't know. Probably should water it. I don't know if it's gonna come back. Doesn't look like it. There's no signs of life down there, but we'll see. This one, I thought this one was a goner like pretty early on after I bought it, and these have just grown so tall. We've gotten a lot of yellow blooms. It's kind of hard to tell, but they are spread out. They're like a mini hibiscus kind of, and then these are like a bushy, wispy pink, and like hot pink and light pink flower, if I remember correctly. So those are doing really well. These here, I don't know if they're dead, or I don't know if these are like new growth of each plant respectively, or if they're just like the little weeds that pop up, but we'll keep an eye on these sprouts and see what they do. And then it kind of looks like that one is growing from the root ball, so maybe. Been fertilizing it, I've been watering it. It's with lavender, which was looking amazing. I had something come through and you know, feast on all of the leaves. It would get new green leaves, and then those would be eaten very shortly thereafter. So I'm hoping that this comes back because I absolutely love lavender. This is my other fig, and I mean, she's doing okay. This is about how she looked this time last year, and then in the spring she just blossomed into big beautiful leaves, started fruiting and all of that. So hoping we get the same this year. My banana tree keeps, I think over the winter it's sprouted maybe 3 new leaves. Now banana trees that I've seen that have actual fruit on it, the stem, the trunk is a lot thicker than mine, so I'm not expecting any bananas for years. But it's nice to see new leaves growing. So my flower bed 1, the orange tree, oh, it looks like it's kind of leaning. Anyway, I'm not gonna mess with it. Interesting. Maybe I'll break up the soil a bit and just support it more on this side so that it's more centered. But hopefully she's gonna do even better than she did last year. There's a lot of new little, looks like the start of blooms coming in all over. She has a really nice color. I've been fertilizing it with citrus fertilizer. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we actually, you know, at least get some pretty blossoms. If we don't get any oranges, fine. It's a, uh-oh, something's eating it though. I just noticed that. I also got some slug. Oh, that's definitely slug, right? It's kind of wet down here. Anyway, interesting. I just noticed that. That must be pretty new. But anyway, last year we got lots of blooms, little tiny start of oranges, little smaller than marbles, and then they just all fell off. So I don't know if that's part of the growing, maturing cycle, or if I did something wrong. Either is possible. But yeah, whatever happens, I'll just be excited to see it stay this color. That's at least a win in my book. Okay, so this lavender, you guys, she's been through a lot. I did recently transplant her with hopes of, you know, just keeping her alive. Honestly, I don't want to have to get rid of her. This is from our last place. It was in a container, and then she was here, like right here on the edge, and was struggling after the transplant, and then she was thriving and growing, and then just, I think, just being in that area, and before we had the dogs blocked off with this, it was just kind of precarious for her. And then she started struggling, and then my son fell on the middle of her, and so one of the main branches was bent and broken, and I don't know if that was a lifeline that kind of did her in a bit, but I moved her over here with next to this orange tree. I did have Spanish lavender here that I couldn't keep alive because, you know, they're good companion plants. So instead of buying a new lavender plant, I thought maybe I'll move her here and hope for the best. So I'll keep you updated on that. My star jasmine is doing good. Kind of slowed down growing from when I first got her. Like after I put her in, pretty soon after, she was starting to vine up. She was just like this without the vines. But there's still some new growth like on the edge of her most, you know, like her oldest vine. So hoping we get a few more growth spurts out of her. Oh, and I put in more violas like I did at some point last year, but then my dogs were peeing on them. But, you know, I rectified that now, so hopefully they stay and start spreading out around like they had started to before they died from dog urine. I have 4 around here as well. So my gardenia, I did move over from here to here, and clearly something's going on with her, and I'm assuming it's a nutrient issue. I've been fertilizing her, I've been watering her, still getting lots of new growth, and the new growth, well, let's see, what's the newest? I thought I saw a leaf that was coming in that didn't have that. white stuff on it, maybe there. So here's what the underside looks like. If anyone has any tips, please give me some charity and let me know if you know what's going on. Yeah, and they're supposed to be evergreen, not deciduous, so I thought, oh, the leaves are just preparing to shed, but I don't know. But she is also a transplant from our last place, was in a pot, was transplanted over there, was doing pretty great. I got like 4 blooms out of her, like in the spring season, and a few more after that. So, you know, that's a win in my book. I hope that she thrives this year. And these are supposed to be good companion plants, the violas, so hoping that works out well. This is a new exciting addition. I got a climbing rose. So this is, I forget the name. I got off Marketplace. Yeah, so in my dream garden, she's going to be climbing up this post. The jasmine's going to be climbing up this post, and then I have a beautiful flower frame in this walkway. I think that at least compared to, you know, the previous, like last year, the leaves that are coming in, they're starting to look really great. I'm trying to do my best to keep an eye on any incoming aphid infestations, but they're already looking better starting out this season than they did last year, so that's a good sign. This one here though really only has, okay, this one's a lot slower to grow, so I'm hoping she really shines this year. I don't think I got any blooms from her last year. I can't remember, honestly. This one's a hybrid tea rose, and then that one's like an orangey red. One of them is pink. Honestly, I don't even remember what color this one here is. Anyway. But not looking too shabby. Got some new growth on the hybrid there. Probably just gonna pull them up soon, because I've heard that when the leaves start to tip over like this, that they're ready. I already saw these and they're all too close together. Like, this is the size. But other than that, looks like, I mean, they did better than last year. Like last year I had little stubs, but I had started a little less than this, maybe like 6 total, and only got 1 stub out of it. So I've got more than that. I'm gonna pay a lot more attention to spacing this year as well, and be less cavalier about, you know, starting seeds. Start a lot less seeds in the actual seed pod. I just get nervous that nothing's gonna happen, so I put like 3 minimum in 1 cell. So I'm gonna stop doing that, and I'm going to work on following the spacing instructions more. But yeah, here are my little carrots, another little shorty. And these ones, I can't see the tops yet, but I know that's also another sign that they're ready. Oh, here's another top. So I'm gonna assume that they're all short, except maybe this one here that looks like it's by itself. That one might reach a good size, but these other ones, anyway, I learned my lesson. It's better than I did the first time I started carrots, so that's, you know, all you can hope for really, is just to learn from your mistakes, try things. I'm a visual person, so seeing something play out is much more of an impactful learning experience for me than reading instructions, and, well, I guess like really following instructions to a T. My green onions, or these aren't even green onions, these are chives. Why are they so big? Can anyone tell me? They're really, really thick and wide. We had a few yesterday. We had like basically like a, what do they call it? Like the potato where you have French fries with cheddar cheese, green onions, bacon. We had a soup like that, and so I cut these. But these just, I don't even think they're functioning on enough soil, but somehow they're really thriving, so that's a nice surprise. And they're coming in so strong right here, but they're huge. Like, they're obviously more like green onion, but they are definitely chives, and I planted them from a plant. that said chives on it, not from seed. So anyway, something I'm going to be doing seed wise soon is starting these, if I can focus, starting these nasturtiums, which I recently learned how to pronounce them. I totally thought it was nasturtium, but these are supposed to be really good for attracting and I guess exterminating aphids. So I'm going to get these started ASAP so that I can get them into the ground ASAP next to my roses, and hope that that makes a big difference this year in you know, not having that pest problem. Alright, so I'm talking about this out here because I haven't moved it yet, but if you remember in the other flower bed I had gladiolus last year. I planted a ton and all of them sprouted, but then they got ravaged by thrips, and I got maybe like 2 plants that actually flowered. So I got this to put with them because they're supposed to help fight thrips, and I wouldn't mind this growing into a large bushy thing. It's rosemary. It smells amazing. It has these pretty pale purple flowers as well. So I'm gonna get that into the ground. I'm not gonna buy any more gladiolus because I'm just not. I'm gonna see if anything happens with the bulbs that are already underground, and hope and pray that they come out again. I picked up some new things. I'm really trying not to go crazy like I did last year in regards to buying, you know, like pre-sprouted plants, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put these in our other flower bed. They are all perennials, so that was really important to me to not really get annuals because it's so tempting because they're so beautiful and you get the long stems and the big showy blooms, but then, or at least I haven't had an annual that lasted long enough to justify the price. So I'm getting these with the hopes that they just become really established in, you know, in the ground here at our place, and I can enjoy them, you know, for many, many months and years to come. So I'm gonna get these in. One of these Bakura is for the back to replace one that died. And I got this as well. So I'm hoping to also focus on getting my pest and fertilization routine, you know, to really stick to one, for one, and to really get my pest control problems under control, because I get a lot of leaf damage, like from something chewing on the leaves. So I really want to tackle that this year, focusing on fixing problems that I noticed last year versus buying a lot of stuff, if that makes sense. Excuse my son's unfinished lunch. So we have violas, which I also did try last year and they did great, but my dogs were peeing on them. I actually might get some more for the back as well, because I love seeing those little colorful faces. But for now I wanted to get these into the ground on the front. I have some stuff in the front that is growing really, really well. It's not blooming yet, but it's looking like it's gonna be a really great addition. Yeah, felt like it was more when I bought it. Oh, and this guy. Oh, actually, one more thing before we move to the other bed. So my ranunculus last year that didn't do much of anything. They weren't in a well draining of enough pot. I dug out the corms. I didn't put them in the fridge or anything because in my zone, well, I could have put them in the ground, I guess, but it was pretty cold, like the end of last year. So I just kept them out in the elements and they started to sprout. Those that have sprouted have kind of died. So I'm just gonna do the fish emulsion like it was recommended to me last time, but I didn't do it. I did soak them, but I didn't add fish emulsion. So I'm going to do that this year and then maybe put them in the raised beds. I don't know. I kind of got rid of a lot of my containers. I didn't want a bunch of big containers cluttering up the deck, but I'm gonna try these again and see if anything happens, because why not? But I need to do it soon, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna do that. Now gonna move on to the other bed. What's this? Oh, here's the fish emulsion that I got for those, if it would focus. Okay, so this is the very, all these gnats. I wonder if these are what's eating all my stuff. This is the very sad state of my hydrangea. Yeah, but I'm not giving up. I see some new growth down there peeking out, and I have learned last year that a lot of times plants that are really struggling when the first year you get them can thrive, like my geraniums, and hopefully my bougainvillea as well. This is, I forget what it is called, but it has these like, I don't know, like spiky bright purple leaves. They're supposed to attract a lot of pollinators. It has just exploded. Like, it was probably like this size when I got it and put it in. I did get some more like ground cover flowers. I'm going to put that trailing rosemary somewhere over here, and then my gladiolus bulbs are still down there. I pulled up a lot of these hideous succulents. I don't like succulents that much. It was that one right there. It was ginormous. It was like chopping a tree down. I also have put down some slug repellent. Maybe a little too wet around it still, but anyway, like I said, I'm trying to get my pest control situation under control. So the slugs and then these gnats that are everywhere. Like, look at this. Is this from slugs? It's a little dry, so I don't know if the little slug trail was there or if this is like a flying insect. But this is lantana. She's still trying to grow. A lot of new leaves, even though she's being, you know, assaulted. This is, I forget what this is called, but it's like a native, I think it's native, spiky, it's like a long stem purple flower, and it's like a little bush ball flower at the top with little mini flowers, comprised of little mini flowers. Something interesting is that my hyacinths are coming back, so I'm hoping that my gladiolus do the same thing. Maybe these will even do better than they did last year, but looks like almost all of them are coming up, and just like last year, they're all growing at different rates. I think there's some on this side too. There's one right there. My muscari is still somehow still growing. They're doing something to this area, so that's what these are. But look, interesting. And then these roses, they did not much of anything last year, but look at them now. Beautiful, beautiful leaves, green, shiny, healthy. So I'm hoping to keep that going. Oh my gosh, I think that's a gladiolus. Oh my gosh. Wow. Anyway, this is the other rose. This is a climbing rose. She's grown a lot in the past like couple of months. And then the pansies here, the guys working on whatever they're doing here kind of messed these up, but pansies are pretty resilient, I've learned. Oh God. This here I put in, it's Archangel. Probably too much of the slug stuff I put down, but I don't know if people are like stepping on it. Anyway, hoping that she comes back better than ever this year as well.